Hi, today I want to talk you through creating quotes in Trak. Now, quotes to some businesses are extremely personal and they are really important in the way they are presented, the way they are structured, and for some businesses, they are very, very basic. So, in this video, I'm going to stick with the basic overview of quoting. If you want to learn more about advanced quoting and being able to take your quoting to that next level and being able to use the quote to structure the way that your project works in Trak, please look at our advanced quoting video for support and help in that area. Now, with a quote in Trak, I think it's really important to start in a job and understand that every job that you create in Trak can have as many quotes within that job as you want. So in your Trak account, you can create a quote. That quote can be invoiced as many times as you like. But if you have a quote and then you've got multiple variations, you can just add an additional quote for that variation. Okay. Now, quotes can be simple. You can just press the create button in a job and create a quote. Nice and easy. Quotes can have a quote name, quotes can have a description, and quotes can have notes that are added at the bottom of the PDF. So nice and simple. Name at the top, then you've got your description, which will show at the top, and your notes that will show at the bottom. Now, obviously, you can template quotes. You can have as many templates as you want. They can be created in your template area, and they will fill out all the details of the quote. And you can just add a couple of quantities or changes to get your quotes out the door really quickly. Today, what I want to walk you through is a general structure of how our quotes work. So, when you create a quote, obviously you can have your description. That can be changed with different scripts. Okay, so you can drop details into the platform, you can remove them, you can add one or multiple scripts to the system. It's entirely up to you how you want to manage that in the system. Your notes are exactly the same. So you might have, a standard note that shows on a quote. This is in your quote defaults, but you might also want to have, standard inclusions or exclusions or something like that that drop into the platform, and put the details in here that you've got from your exclusions. It's up to you how you do it. Okay. Now, when we create a quote, we've got this middle section here. This is the way that you want your quote to be presented in the PDF. You can add cover page. Once again, these can be created in your template section. You can change logos. You can choose to add expiry dates. You can copy quotes from other jobs so you don't have to keep typing similar quotes in all the time. You can drop a quote in from another job and edit it really quickly. On your right-hand side, these little tick boxes are all designed to save you time and present the quote the way that you want for different businesses. Now, the way that Trak works when we create a quote is you press the add section button and you can add a section to your quote. Now, some people don't want headings and sections and details. It's just going to be nice and simple. They're going to have a description at the top and they're going to have a line item at the bottom that just says, materials and labor, to complete. Okay, so it is entirely up to you how you use this. You can then put in the amount of money, and then from there, you can save the quote and present it to your customer. If you have a more detailed quoting system, you can add multiple line items to your system by adding a line item. You can then start typing in certain products that might be in your system. And then you can say, I've got a product in here that matches that code. I can select it and it'll add that, amount of money into the system. If you've got lots of products in your product system, you can open up your price list and product list, and you can select products like a shopping cart, and you can add those products back into your quote. So quoting can be simple: free text, products, product list. If you are more advanced, again, we do have product bundles, which I'll walk through in our advanced section. If you need to add multiple sections, press the add section button again. You're going to add another section and so on and so forth. For those businesses who offer multiple options to a customer, so you might offer option A is this U-Butte bit and option B is the alternative. You might want to choose this hide your quote price here. This option will allow you to hide the total quote price at the bottom and just have the two section prices separate so the customer can clearly see option A versus option B. And this is where you would use things like your section name. So you might have, option A, for example, if I want to type it, and then you might have your pencil with a description around that section, and then you might have your line items. So this allows you to take that next step in the business. You've got your display options here for hiding and showing line items, which I'll walk through in the secondary video, but this allows you to create your quotation in Trak. Now, for those people who don't quote all the time but receive lots of set price POs, and you want to get the price in here ready for invoicing later, you will still go into this quoting section, put in your line items, but instead of saving the status as a draft, you would save it as already approved. You can put your PO in, you can have it set up ready, and then when you want to invoice it down the track, it's already in the system. You just click the approve button. For those customers who need to create a quote and send it to a client, you'll just go down to the bottom and press save. Okay, so nice and easy in the way that works. I'll just delete this one out, and I'll delete this one out. So in your Trak account, you will be able to create a quote. You'll be able to see the details associated to it. It will generate a PDF. You can then share it with your client, manage it. If you're using products, you can create material orders. There's a whole lot of different things that you can do in here to save time. If this is a quote you're going to use all the time, save it as a template so you can use it time and time again. Okay. Now, having a quote approved on site. This can be simple or detailed. Some people will be with the customer, walking through them. They've set it all up. It's ready to go. They can just select the approve button. These approval fields are set up in your templates or in your finance settings under quote templates or quote finance settings. You'll be able to change these details and manage it. Okay. In your Trak account, once it is approved, you can then invoice the job. The status can be approved in a few different ways. Obviously, you can approve it through the fields here. You can approve it by updating the status here, or if your customer approves it remotely, when you email it to them, it will automatically update the status and it will make it available for you to invoice the job. In terms of general settings for quoting, they will be under your name and they will be in your company settings, and you'll be able to see your finance settings, and then you'll be able to see your quote settings. So a few simple things. We saw that there was quote notes on the quote. Now, they can be defaulted here. So these might be standard inclusions or exclusions that you want on the quote. When you email a quote to your customer, there will be a standard message that comes into the system. You might want to edit or change that. That can be managed here. If you want to change the quote approval fields, you might want a signature, you might want additional fields to change it to suit your business. This is managed here. Then you've got general settings, your quote default settings, tax, expiry dates, details. All of this can be managed and customized in the platform. The other one we have here, which is very popular, is the ability to add default attachments to a quote. These can be removed at quote level, but it allows you to have things like brochures, terms and conditions in PDF, application forms, and so on and so forth attached directly to your quotation. You can choose how you want to present the quote to your customer with your PDF by default. And once you save those settings, that will all relate back to the PDF you create in Trak. The other item that we've got, obviously, is templates. So under your name in templates, this is where you can create your quote templates in the system. A quote template can be super detailed or really basic. When you select the details of it, you can see here that you've got descriptions in detail, notes in detail, line items, quantities, management, whatever it is that's relevant to you. You can save your templates in here. At this stage, you can add cover pages. You can choose the way that your quotes are presented to the customer. You can choose the way your line items are presented to the customer so that you don't have to do it each time you create the job in it, create the quote in a job. So quoting can be super detailed or really, really basic. If you've got any further questions in regards to quoting in Trak, look at our advanced quoting video, or you can reach out to our team at contact@trak.co. Alternatively, you can reach out through the speech bubble in the bottom right-hand corner for further information. Thank you very much.